Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's time for our weekend Bitcoin price action analysis. And Bitcoin being very, very naughty today, being down about 4.6% at the time of recording. We see it coming in, tangling with the 0.236, wicking off that white 200 simple right up in this area here, and just finding a rejection there. And to the downside it goes. At the very least, it looks like it's going to swipe the lows again, perhaps down here at the 377, coming in around the $32,460 mark. Wouldn't surprise me to see a wick off of that. And by the way, if it did wick off that point right there, it'd be another higher wick than these last two, so that'd be all right, assuming that it reverses itself from this point here. But things are beginning to look a little bit dicey. People are getting pretty bearish out there. A lot of people calling for more downside price action, and it's not unreasonable to be thinking that, but usually when the market gets on one side of things, I get a little bit skeptical. But of course, I don't like to assert my opinions on the matter. I trade the TA that's right in front of me, and at the end of the day, I mean, if it starts breaking down below this horizontal here around 29,900, so around 30K, then likely we're going to see it whip down to this horizontal here around 24,186. Now, if we come out to the CME's chart here, you can actually see there's a gap down there. And that's on the CME chart, that's right around the 24,500 mark. And wouldn't that be something if we got a wick all the way down there, hitting that, faking everybody out, faking the bulls out, faking the bears out, and then we just deflect back up into this, bounce back up above this last pivot point over here and then resume bullish trajectory. However, the problem I'm going to have with that is if price action does break down below that pivot point there, we're going to be instigating a weekly downtrend. So basically all time frames in a downtrend, pretty bearish price action if I don't say so myself. Now back on over to the spot chart here. If that 24,186 does manage to fail over time, likely we're going to see 19,700, which if I toggle out a little bit here, you're going to see that's the top of the last bull cycle that we saw for Bitcoin way back here coming into 2018. That's a reasonable place to be targeting over time, but certain conditions have to be met. You know, at the end of the day, I like to look for something that's actionable within the chart to give me an idea as to how to react to the situation versus trying to predict it. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of that horizontal, and I want to put a little liquid zone down here. Actually, let's stick it in right off this pivot point here. Just like that. If I start seeing closures down there, I think it'll be a fairly quick move down to 24,186 and perhaps a bounce from there. Maybe price action, kind of works its way down there, hits it, bounce back up, rejects from the liquid zone, and then maybe it makes a stab over time down to that previous all-time high. And that's not an unreasonable scenario to be entertaining, but only if those conditions are met. Bitcoin can still put in a bottom here. It could wick off this 377 here. It could come down and find support off this liquid zone. And over time, maybe over 2-3 months, maybe come September, it finally picks itself back up, breaks up, puts in this bottom here, breaks back up above this horizontal here, and starts ripping its way to the upside. Perhaps we see some Wyckoff accumulation over time, similar to the distribution we saw up here. I mean, as you can see, this whole distribution took about 3 months before it finally broke down to the downside here. So maybe Bitcoin ping pongs around here for a few months, freaking all the bulls out, all the bears out. Everyone's holding their breath, wondering what the heck's going to go on. And then maybe sometime in September, things pick themselves back up and resume to the upside. But of course, that's all just opinion stuff. For me, I like to put conditions on the chart, something that's actionable so I can react to it versus trying to predict it like a crystal ball. I would way rather, have certain conditions where I can go, all right, if this happens, I do that. And I just simply react it. Because at the end of the day, nobody's smarter than the market. The market's going to do what the market does. And unless you're someone out there that's a gigantic whale sitting on millions and millions of dollars, well, you're kind of at the mercy as to what those other whales are going to do with this. But right now, it does look droopy. I'm thinking that a test of the 377 at the very least here is likely in the cards. So $32,477. So if you see price action get down there, wick off that, it's likely because it hit that 377. A lot of traders, bots, algorithms could be programmed to the buy side of that. And I'm going to be thinking that as my bias because I can see these wicks stabbing down below it, hitting that liquid zone, and they're getting bought up each time. However, sellers are also stepping in a lot sooner each time as well. So it's hard to be bullish on this, but again, until it takes out this pivot point back here, there is no weekly downtrend in progress right now. So hopefully that gives you some levels to be watching and paying attention to. But again, we'll just have to let this price action speak to us and let us know what the market's going to do next. And then we make a plan based on that information. Anyways, thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video, everyone. Wished I had some better news for you, but it is what it is. Markets will do what they do. Looking forward to seeing the next video. Take care.